Hi friends, Allie here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the Country Cottage Pumpkin. This pattern is full of fun texture, and as you can see, I have 3 different sizes here. These are actually all made using the exact same pattern. The only thing I changed was the hook size and the yarn size. You can also adjust the size by making more increases to the base, and you can also add and subtract rows to make your pumpkin taller. So really, you can make any size you want using any size yarn. So if you're ready to get making, let's grab our supplies and let's get started. For the small size pumpkin, you will need medium 4-weight yarn and a 4mm or G hook. For a medium size pumpkin, you will need bulky 5-weight yarn and a 6mm or J hook. For a large size pumpkin, you will need super bulky 6-weight yarn and a 7mm hook. Other supplies include a yarn needle, scissors, a pumpkin stem, and fiberfill stuffing. We're going to start by making a magic circle and chain 1 to secure it. And then we're going to work 8 half double crochets inside the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just going to take this short tail end here, pull it tight, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the very first half double crochet that we made. Going to chain 1. So at the end of row 1, our stitch count is at 8. Now I'm going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. 1, 2 in the first stitch, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. We're just going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. Then I'm going to join to the first half double crochet that we worked and chain 1. At the end of row 2, our stitch count is now at 16. I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. Then I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and then 2 half double crochets into the next. And when I reach the end, I'm going to slip stitch to the very first half double crochet that we worked and chain 1. At the end of round 3, our stitch count is now at 24. Now I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 half double crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 half double crochets into the third stitch. And then I'm going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next. I'm just going to repeat that around for round 4. Work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. When you reach the end, just join to the first half double crochet that we worked and chain 1. So at the end of round 4, our stitch count is now at 32. So we're going to do one more increase round. Now you can change the amount of increase rounds you do to adjust the size of your pumpkin. So if you want it to be smaller, you can do not as many rounds of increases, or if you want it larger, you can keep going. So we're going to do one more. So we are going to half double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches. So 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet into the second stitch, and 1 half double crochet into the third stitch. And then into the 4th stitch, we are going to work 2 half double crochets. And we're just going to repeat that around. So 1 half double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next. So I'm just coming up to the last stitch of round 5. So I'm going to join to the top of that first stitch there. So at the end of round 5, our stitch count is now at 40. So now we're going to go on to round 6. So we're done increasing. Now if you want, you can continue increasing if you want to make your pumpkin larger. But for this medium size here, I'm just going to stop here. So I'm going to chain 2. And then for round 6, we are going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So we're going to work a total of 40 double crochets all the way around for round 6. I'm just coming up to the end of row 6. So when I reach the end, I'm going to join to the first double crochet that we made and chain 2. So at the end of round 6, our stitch count is still at 40. So now we're going to get into the textured stitches. So we're going to start off round 7 with 1 double crochet into that first stitch. And then working around the post of the second stitch, we are going to work a front post double crochet. So if you've never worked one of those before, it is essentially just a double crochet, but instead of working in the top loops of the stitch, we're going to work around the post of the stitch. So we're going to yarn over as if we're going to work a double crochet, and then working into that second stitch around the post, we're going to insert our hook from front to back, and then back up around the back of the post. So I'm going to do that again. We're going to yarn over and then go in through the front to the back, and then back through to the front around the post, and then we're going to work our double crochet. So we're going to yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So as you can see, that double crochet is now just poking out more so than our regular double crochet. So now we are going to work a regular double crochet into the next stitch. So that stitch is a little bit hidden behind that front post when we worked. So just make sure you're going into the right stitch. So we're going to work a regular double crochet, and then we're going to work a front post double crochet into the next. So working into the next stitch, the post of the next stitch, we're going to front post double crochet. And we're going to do that all the way around for round 7. Work 1 regular double crochet into the next stitch, and then a front post double crochet into the next. I'm going to repeat that all the way around for round 7. So I'm just coming up to the last stitch of round 7. So our last stitch should be a front post double crochet. So when we reach the end, I'm just going to join to the top of that first double crochet that we made. So at the end of round 7, our stitch count is still at 40. I'm going to chain 2. And now for round 8, we are going to start with a front post double crochet. So what we're going to do for round 8 is we're going to work a front post double crochet into all of the regular double crochet stitches that we worked in the previous round, and then we're going to work a regular double crochet in the front post double crochet stitches we worked from the previous round. So we are going to start round 8 with a front post double crochet, working around the front post of that stitch we worked from the previous round. So just like so, and then we are going to work a regular double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to front post double crochet into the next stitch. So that's going to be the stitch that's kind of hiding back behind there, and then we're going to work a regular double crochet. We're just going to repeat that around for round 8. We're going to work a front post double crochet into the next stitch, and then a regular double crochet into the next stitch. So I'm just coming up to the last stitch for round 8, and our last stitch is going to be a regular double crochet, and then I'm going to join to the first front post double crochet that we worked with a slip stitch. So this is what we're looking like so far. So now for the next 2 rounds, we are just going to repeat what we did for rounds 7 and 8. So we're going to start off with a chain 2. So we are going to work a double crochet into the first stitch, and then a front post double crochet in the next. We're going to repeat that around for round 9. So we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, and then a front post double crochet in the next. I'm just coming up to the last stitch for round 9, and our last stitch is going to be a front post double crochet. I'm just going to join that to the beginning of our round and chain 2. Now we're on to round 10, and for round 10 we are just going to work 1 front post double crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 regular double crochet into the next. We're going to repeat that all the way around. 1 front post double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 regular double crochet stitch into the next. I'm just coming up to the last stitch of round 10. So the last stitch is going to be a regular double crochet. So I'm going to join to the first stitch of the round. So we are all done our straight up part of the pumpkin. So this is about as tall as our pumpkin's going to be. So if you want to keep going, you can just keep repeating those last 2 rounds as high as you want. It all depends on what you want your pumpkin to look like, but you can keep going if you want. I'm going to stop here. So now we're on to round 11, and for round 11 I'm just going to chain 1, and then we're going to start decreasing to close up our top. So I'm going to half double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches. So just work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches, and then we're going to half double crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. Half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then half double crochet 2 together. I'm just coming up to the end of round 11. When I reach the end, I'm going to join to the top of the first stitch we worked, chain 1. So at the end of round 11, our stitch count is now at 32. We're going to continue to decrease, so we are going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches, and then half double crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that around, so 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet 2 together. I'm just coming up to the last stitch here, and I'm going to join to the first stitch that we worked and chain 1. So that was round 12, so our stitch count is now at 24, and we're just going to work 1 more decrease round. So we are going to work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch, and then half double crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that all the way around for round 12, working 1 half double crochets in the next stitch, and then half double crochet 2 together. just coming up to the end of round 13. We're going to join to the first stitch. At the end of round 13, our stitch count is now at 16. So as you can see here, we have this smaller hole now at the top. So we're actually going to tie off our yarn. So if you want to grab your yarn needle and scissors, I'm going to cut off, leaving a tail end that's about 24 inches long. Just going to chain one on my yarn here. So leave a tail end that's about 24 inches. I'm just going to pull that loop with my hook. There we go. So before we weave this close, we're going to stuff it with our fiber fill. So you can stuff yours as much or as little as you'd like. The more you stuff it, the stiffer it will be. The less you stuff it, the squishier it will be. So it's up to you how much you want to use. So I have mine how I want it. So I'm going to grab my yarn needle and weave my yarn in and out between these last 16 stitches we have here. So just working all the way around, we're going to weave our yarn in and out through these last 16 stitches. Back at the beginning, so I'm going to pull this tight to close up that top hole. So you want to just make sure that you leave a large enough hole that your stem can fit in it. So whatever you're using for a stem, just make sure that it's large enough that your stem will be able to poke through that. And then you're just going to tie a few knots to the top here. Once you have it nice and secure, we're going to take our needle and we're going to poke it down through the center hole and back out the bottom center hole. So straight down to the bottom, pull your yarn through, we'll pull it nice and tight. That's going to cinch down that top part, as you can see. Cinches it down, gives it more of that pumpkin shape. Now if you want, you can leave it just as it is like this, and you can secure it at the bottom with a few tight knots. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my yarn, so we're down at the bottom, we're going to wrap it up to the top, just kind of make sure it's in between these bumpy stitches here, and I'm going to go through the top again and back down through the center hole. Just trying to keep my yarn tight. So just like that, and we're going to create those little segments. So I'm going to do this 4 times to create 4 segments, just to give it more of that pumpkin shape. So as you can see here, it just kind of goes in right there. So now I'm going to go back up around. So I'm going to find another spot to go. So I'm going to go straight across to the other side. I'm going to try and make mine as equal as I can. So back up to the top and down through the center. Again, trying to keep my yarn nice and tight. And just back through that center hole. There we go. And then we're going to do that again, going to the in between the last 2 that we worked. And we're going to do it one more time. I'm just trying to work in between these stitches instead of squishing these down. You can kind of work your way in between them and back down through the center. So here I made mine have 4 segments. You can keep going around. You can make even more if you want. You can make less. You don't have to do any at all. It's really up to you how many you want to do, but this is what ours is looking like now. So now I'm going to tie this off to the bottom. I'm just still holding my yarn tight. And I'm going to secure this at the bottom with a few knots. There we go, make sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm just going to weave my end in at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to grab my scissors and tie off my yarn. So this is the bottom of our pumpkin, and then if we flip it over, this is the top. So no pumpkin would be complete without a stem, so you can grab whatever you're using for a stem. I just have these little sticks. So these, I had a fallen branch in my yard, so I just cut pieces off of it, and then I washed them under warm water with some soap and a abrasive sponge, and to get all the dirt chunks off and whatnot, and then I let them dry out. So this is just an easy option if you don't have anything else. You can also use cinnamon sticks. I've seen people use strips of leather that they folded in half to make a little loop. You really can use whatever you want. So I'm going to use one of these, so find whatever size that you like, and then you can put it through that top center hole. Now I'm just going to stick mine straight in and leave it because I'm just leaving mine in my house. So if you're planning on shipping it or you just want it to be more secure, you can add a little dab of hot glue in there or fabric glue, something to make it stick in there and be more secure. But I'm gonna leave mine as is, and this is our little pumpkin. Thank you so much for following along. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can find this pattern and many more free patterns on my blog, whoshomemade.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.